Good afternoon, everybody. How many of you have ever gone on a hike or to the beach? How many times have you looked around and just walked through your neighborhoods and you've seen that sad picture of people's garbage lying all over the ground? Now, Americans throw away anywhere from 2.5 million plastic bottles alone every hour. And that horrifying question that we have to ask ourselves is, where does it all end up? To answer those questions, all you have to do is look around you. It all ends up in landfills for those who recycle, or in our neighborhoods, our beautiful oceans, and the rest of nature. There are an ample of benefits that come from recycling by effectively separating and disposing of goods properly after use. And today, I want to enlighten everyone on the costs and benefits of recycling in hopes that maybe it'll change at least one person's mind at a time to make change and recycle. Now, there are many cost-efficient benefits of recycling as an incentive. For one, certain materials can be used as a multitude of times without ever losing its value, such as glass. Glass can be recycled forever and ever, and it'll never lose its properties. So it is cost efficient, and it also saves on having to use a lot of those toxic materials. And other certain plastics, such as non-biodegradable materials, can be used to produce carpets, furniture, other repurposed goods. And a good example of this is tires. Now, tires may be reused for school tracks as well as artificial fields. So again, we're reusing and having to lessen the amount of garbage that we use. Recycling materials can actually add value and save you on costs, such as aluminum can save energy to run your TV up for 3 hours. And this is all according to the aluminum recycling facts of the recycling evolution. Now, since the 1980s, municipal garbage in the US alone has increased by over 22%, and it has not shown a significant decrease, which means we're still rising in the cost and the pollution of not recycling. Now, this is all coming from the general recycling facts of Recycle Across America standardized recycling labels. Back in the day, recycling, it was not a major topic that people talked about. Our grandparents and their grandparents, they were not aware of the damages that plastic and other cheaper materials were used by companies were actually making to our world. Now, companies today have revolutionized industries while discovering that it saves money for them to reuse and recycle biodegradable materials. This is a huge increase or decreases a huge amount of production, such as these materials as plastic, now that we've becoming more and more aware of the pollutions and the cost saving effectiveness of using other alternate materials. However, over time, people have used plastic. We've also realized it hurts animals and our ecosystem. Therefore, a global conscience about the benefits of recycling has finally arisen, and we need to continue to make people aware and make it public to inform others about the general interest in recycling and the push to need to recycle. There are many great reasons to recycle. If the government were having recycling incentives and special charges, which can greatly motivate people to recycle and reduce waste at the same time, by saying to companies that if you use these, you'll save in X amount of taxes, or you'll save in the consumer X amount of money, and that'll actually give an incentive for people to want to recycle. Now, these are all facts from Recycling and Energy Saving Shortcut from Does Recycling Save Energy? And in fact, it does. If companies market goods for their audiences who know and care about the environment, then manufacturers will feel incentives to choose eco-friendly materials for their goods and for packaging. Other ideas is to actually increase the prices of goods in order to include the cost of waste management to dispose of those said goods that would make people be able to utilize eco-friendly alternatives for consumers to buy eco-friendly alternatives. Meaning, if you're going to buy those harmful plastics and such, then the price to actually dispose of those are actually going to be included in the price of you having to buy them. So if you buy a plastic bottle of water, it's going to cost a little bit more because disposing of that plastic is very harmful and consumes more. So therefore, you might pick an alternative to actually buying something that does not have plastic. This also goes for most homeowners, renters, and businesses. They already pay a charge amount for authorized garbage bags or trash cans, but adding an extra fee that you don't want to recycle, you're going to have to pay that fee for other people to recycle for you or to separate your garbage. And that is another great incentive to have people recycle, because then they're going to want to do it on their own because it's going to cost or save them more money. The number one problem people have with recycling is the cost associated with having to do so, and the materials having to be sorted and the machinery which has to be used to dispose of them. And all of that equals one thing, which is cost, which most companies and consumers do not want. In most cases, it costs more for companies and the public to reuse recycled material versus using new and cheaper made materials such as plastic. But if companies were to collect, separate, and resell recycled materials goods in order to separate and operate, then they would see profit, and this would actually encourage consumers to also do the same thing and buy from companies who do this, who save our ecosystem and actually recycle. Recycling is the most effective way to benefit our environment and our cities and our towns. Everyone needs to hear the truth about regulated garbage in hopes that we as communities can make a change and keep our communities and nature healthy and clean so that when you walk outside to your parks and your neighborhoods, you're not seeing garbage everywhere, pollution, you're not seeing animals and people um, being harmed because of plastics and hard non-biodegradable materials. There is no doubt that the practice of recycling is beneficial for the environment and how little effort it actually takes on our part in comparison to the benefits. Ensuring the world's natural habitats survive for our much needed ecosystem and keeping our communities clean, recycling can make a huge change as long as there's motivation to make the effort. Thank you.